RV Tech Pro. What's up, guys? Got some new tools to show you. I'm gonna go over some old stuff. I'm gonna take a look at what's in my main truck toolbox. A little sneak peek in there. Not going through all that. It takes all day. Just want to show you some of the main stuff. Talk about some ratchets and wrenches that I use on the truck. And I'm gonna try to not move the phone around a lot because it's easier for me to shoot the video on the phone. I don't have to run it through the editing or anything like that. I just shoot it and upload it. It's all on the phone, and it makes it easier for me. But the last video was pretty shaky when I watched it, so I want to try to mitigate that. I got this set of reducers. So I found myself needing to use different ratchets on different size sockets, and this helps me out a lot. This is a Craftsman set. It might have been like 20 bucks or something like that. Got it out of Lowe's. I picked up this set of Icon reversible ratcheting stubby wrenches. Right now they have a 20% off coupon. These are normally $89, and I got them for $71.99 with my with the coupon they just sent out, ITC, whatever, Father's Day early sale. I'm sure they'll extend it to everyone later. And we're going to talk about that a minute and why I got these and why I need these. So I have stubby wrenches, but they're non-ratcheting, and I never thought that I would need these really, but as the summer heats up and it's getting hot out here, I find myself not to be wanting to fool around. You know, I always want to go fast with the campers, you know, fast without sacrificing quality. I'm not going to go fast for the sake of going fast, make money, and sacrifice quality. But when I can eliminate needless time, like having to reposition a wrench a lot using my normal stubbies, a ratcheting one made a lot of sense. And when I'm doing that, I'm normally working on a 12-bolt system. You know, it's all out in the open. Those solenoids and reversing solenoids on either, whether it's hydraulics or step motor or battery, you know, ignition, battery isolators, things like that. And mostly it's going to be 9/16 half-inch size nuts, and just dealing with batteries in general. I find myself on a couple jobs, it's like, wow, I could really improve my efficiency if I had this wrench in a ratcheting, and I need it to be very short and stubby so that I don't touch the surrounding middle and ground out, because I'm working with the hot side at that point. So I have to kind of try to grip my hand all the way over the wrench or ratchet that I'm trying to use so that it will not short out. So I went ahead and at first I bought these. These are Pittsburgh. And like I said, I really only need these two ratchets. And after I use the Icons for a while, maybe I'll just buy the snap-ons if the Icons don't work out. The problem that I have with all ratcheting wrenches, even my snap-on ratcheting wrenches, the end is too big. But on these really cheap ones, it's egregiously big, right? So this is the half-inch, and I think I'll use the tray for some contrast. So this is the half-inch, and this is the 9/16. Now I was able to get the job done with these on an occasion, but I was very scared that this wouldn't fit, and it almost didn't fit because this is too big. And sometimes the different polarity electrical connections are kind of close together, and I need this to be thin enough to get in the spot to where I can actually articulate and still not touch, and that's when the big end comes to play, which is why I'm not a big fan of the ratcheting wrenches. Now, these are straight, so I still don't mind having them because these are the offset ones. So this is the 9/16, and this is the 1/2 inch. This is a much thinner wrench, feels a lot better in my hand, and they're not as thick. So when I look at these two together, you can see the difference. There's a lot less material on the Icon both ways. So it's a thinner wrench, but it's also thinner in the beam, thinner on the head. This one has an offset, and that comes in to play when I need to kind of get away, which in those situations I'm trying to get away. I don't want to touch the surrounding metal, so that's nice. But mainly it's a difference in the size of the heads, right? And I'm sure that these are a snap-on clone knockoff, which is fine with me. Like I said, I didn't want to spend snap-on money for a full set of Stubby ratcheting wrenches, knowing that I mainly will only be using 2 or 3 of them. I'll throw the 7/16 in there too, because that's the size for the toilet, the nuts that hold down the toilet, and that's pretty tight and compact. But most of the time, the ratcheting wrenches on at least one of the toilet bolts, it's not gonna fit. It's gonna be too big. So I always end up using a regular wrench or a deep well socket with my, I'll put a deep well socket on my snap-on long neck or on my Milwaukee, and I'll get in there with that and get that off. But a lot of time, that deep well socket, the way the camper toilets are made, especially the Dometic 310s and the 710s, it has like a recess, and you can't fit all of that in there. You have to use the wrench. So back to the story with these wrenches. So we got the 1/2 inch, we got the 9/16, right? So I was kind of disappointed at the sheer size of the, I hate that about ratcheting wrenches, but when it gets to the smaller size, you know, they're not so bad. But the Icons were a lot better than the Pittsburgh as far as, you know, the amount of material that's around there. So that gives me a little more usability. So I went ahead and got them. And if I like them, as I said, well, maybe I'll get the snap-ons. If I like the offset, because it's the same offset that the snap-on has, if the offset is working for me and this doesn't perform, if this performs, I will not buy the snap-on. I kind of have these for a specific task. Sounds all right. I have to use them. I do like the way they feel. They feel good in the hand. Now I do have a set of these. Oh, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that at all. But yeah, it's a lot of play in that. It moves around a lot, and that's what you get. You get what you pay for, man. So I'm working on some 12-volt stuff, solenoids and reversing valves and stuff like that, you know, where I'm in a tight spot. I need a high tooth count, but it's not the end of the world, you know. It's not like I'm working on a car or anything. So I could deal with some of the imperfections in manufacturing and some of the sloppiness, like this right here in the switch. That's very sloppy. I could deal with that working with the batteries, right? So I have those, I have that, and we'll see how they work out. These, they're too big to get in a lot of spots. They're too thick and they're too big. But of course the open end will work, but that defeats the whole purpose of me getting this wrench. All right, so that's that. They look all right. Like I said, I gotta give this 7/16 a try on the toilet, see what's going on. Let me move on. I got the crafting on the new rail, so they're not falling all over. So that's good. And then I'm gonna show you some stuff that I just use on a regular basis. Big shout out to the Nepros. I've been using this ratchet a lot, man. This turned out to be like the perfect size ratchet, as you can see it in my hand. And I'm using this thing in those spots where I'd have to pull out a stubby wrench. A lot of times I'm using this with a socket. You can kind of see the size on that. And the button hasn't been a problem. I actually like it. It's easy to release the sockets with the button sticking out like that. On my other Nepros, the new version that came out last year, the button is flush and it's fine. But I can understand why they made the button stick out in this. It's very compact. It's also very scratched up. Like I said, I've been using this thing. This thing is awesome. And the back drag is good on it. Not as good as the Koken, a lot of people say. And you find that out when you're in a tight spot and you're trying to loosen something that you can't reach and you have to get it done with the ratchet. You find out how important that back drag comes into play. So this has been a great ratchet. This is the one of the new models. This is the compact head design that they came out with. They basically have the 3/8 and the quarter body. Okay. It's been good, guys. I've been working on it, working with it a lot. They don't stay all nice and shiny like with the, you know, what do they call it, the mirror finish or whatever. You know, that goes away after time. But this has been a really good ratchet. And like I said, when I'm in a tight spot and I can't afford for the ratchet to arc out, I can kind of grip my hand around this whole ratchet and just kind of cover it. You see? So I'm doing something in that battery compartment. It's easy for me to move this guy around without touching the surrounding middle to ground that out. So that's important. This swivel has been awesome. That's your friend doing the spark plugs on the generator. This is your friend here. And then the Astros, these have been good. I mean, that's a very small head ratchet. It is a 1/4 inch, which, you know, anywhere from 5 millimeters to 15 in some sets, most sets 14. That 1/4 inch is going to get you done. That's going to take care of the majority of the stuff that you're going to be doing on a camper that requires a very tight access. It's just because this one is so long in a tight battery compartment, it's not going to help me. That's when I got to go to the Nepros, right? And this is the 3/8 version of that same Astro ratchet, nowhere near as compact as the 1/4. I mean, not even as compact as the Nepros, which is in a 1/4 body. But quick release, button raises up a little bit. I'm cool with that. I see the benefit of having the button sticking out a little bit. Couple of flex heads. This one is just like a bushing, so it's smooth, no detent pin or anything. It's an Icon. This has been a good ratchet. It has good back drag on it. This has been a good ratchet. This Icon 1/4 inch flex head, this has been a good ratchet, guys. And then this super floppy, but it's lockable. This is like a Husky. I've used that for a long time, and it's fine. Quick release, buttons a little more flush. You notice I have a lot of quick release stuff in this box because I need the thing to come on off. I'm out there working on a camper and I'm trying to make time. I don't want to be fighting the socket on and off the ratchet. I'd rather use the quick releases in this situation. So these are my daily drivers. This used to be my go-to when I was a dealer tech because it's so slim on the fifth wheels with the double stack batteries, and you got to work with the battery connections. That came in really handy. I don't really use it since I've been doing mobile. I hadn't really been grabbing it. And then of course my go-to ratchets, my Milwaukee. I used to keep the Mac ratchet on the truck, and it's 3/8. The Milwaukee's 3/8. Like I said, on the campers, I don't need as much variety in power ratchets on the campers as I do when I'm working on cars. So between the Milwaukee and this bit driver, which I just throw in a socket adapter and I want to use it for that, it works fine. So that's good. In my box, I got these DeWalt. So this is the box I bring out the most up top. And this is not a tour. I'm just showing you a lot of stuff that I like, that I use, you know. And if you notice, I hadn't really came across any tool truck stuff yet. And I don't even think I have any tool truck stuff. Well, I do have tool truck stuff in this box, but I hadn't come across any of that yet. These are my daily drivers. This is stuff I'm using like every day. Even though I have the tool truck stuff, this is the stuff this is my go-to stuff, which I talked about, that I don't want a lot of snap-on and mat and stuff walking away. So these wrenches are awesome, guys. These are the Duralast. I really like them. They feel really good. They're thin, but they're not too thin. The corners are rounded just enough, and it goes all the way up to 7/8, which is awesome on the SAE side. And of course on the metric it stops at 19, but 7/8 is awesome. I like being able to just grab them, which I like the Mac Precision Torques that I got. I like the carrying case that they got going on with those RBRTs. Still waiting on for my metric set of the RBRT wrenches. I like the compact case, and the RBRTs and the Precision Torques are even more compact than these. But these are like, these have the length of the snap-on wrenches. So these are extra long. These are the long pattern wrench. So that helps out when you're trying to break stuff loose. So I like that. So those, you know, stuff that works really good for me in a professional setting that didn't come off a tool truck, you know. Sockets, I love these rails. These Williams, this is a Snap-on company, but these are not Snap-on sockets. These sockets, now they do have some, the USA ones. These are not the USA ones. These are the ones that come out of Taiwan. So, you know, these Williams sockets, to me, give or take, you know, the Taiwan stuff is all kind of baseline for a lot of it, not all of it, but, you know, and I know companies send their specifications, but, you know, whatever. But they're good. For me, the convenience factor is the rail. They're on the rail. The sockets have held up really well. I put them on impact. I do whatever I gotta do, and I hadn't had a problem with it. This was a purchase where I ordered the USA ones, and Amazon sent me the Taiwan ones, and I wasn't too happy about that because in the advertisement it said they were made in USA. That's why I bought them, but it turned out to be a good socket, you know. So it's on the upper end of the Taiwan stuff because they do have a lot of junk coming out of Taiwan. This being some of it. They're too big, man. They're just too big. So the steel is probably weak. So when you have cheap steel, you have to use more of it to make the tool strong. which makes the tool big. So snap on, they make those wrenches nice and tight and small because they have a very strong steel, their own proprietary little alloy, like, so they can make a smaller tool that's stronger than a bigger tool. So like I said, you know, you get what you pay for. But yeah, the sockets and the wrenches, couple Allen packs. These have the ball on the end. These are Eklunds. These are made in the USA. And the metric and the standards, those come in handy. But yeah, this is not 2x2. I'm not going through the whole box. I was just showing you some of the stuff that I mainly use. Here's proof that not only Snap-on steel rust. These are made by Tekton. These are awesome. These little 1/4-inch drive bit sockets, 2mm with the half sizes going all the way up. Looks like one's missing. I like using that. You get a really good compact 1/4-inch ratchet. That's good. Now this is a recent purchase of I didn't even need these. It was just like $10 in Harbor Freight, and I was like, well, they got some really big sizes on there. I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and get them. 5th wheel hitches on the gooseneck adapters and stuff like that on those Andersons. Need a bigger size Allen. But yeah, you know, here's some more junk. See, these are supposed to be stubby wrenches. Look how big they are. They're super heavy. Chinese, made in China, made in Taiwan. But it's junk. Coarse tooth. Oh, sounds pretty good. Actually, sounds pretty good. Quick release. They're just so big and bulky, I don't use them. They're so heavy, I don't use them. But I bought them being cheap, and I bought twice, and you will too, because when you buy cheap, you buy twice. So know what you're getting. I don't mind buying this stuff because I buy tools off the Mack truck, and a lot of that stuff's made in Taiwan too. So I don't mind getting the Icon. This actually is pretty good. I really like this. I like the way this feels. I wish they could make the head a little smaller though. But yeah, let's see. But yeah, guys, that's what I got. That's what I've been doing, working with that. And our VTech Pro out.